As the inventor of HMD, would you like to tell us a little bit about the product and how you managed to develop it?
Yes, initially HMD was actually invented for human use after extensive scientific research, including a double-blind placebo-controlled trial with 350 people. We found that the three natural products that it contains are working synergistically to mobilize and eliminate many different toxic metals from the body, such as aluminium, arsenic, cadmium, lead, mercury, uranium, and many others. Once this was developed and actually marketed around the world, used extensively by many people, we found that various people were using it with their pet dogs, their cats, their horses, their rabbits. In fact, even in the Saudi world, we have people using it with their camels. So I began investigating the possibility of its use by experimenting with my children's pets, and found absolutely amazing results with our pet horse, our pet rabbit, our pet dog, and our cats.
What effects are you seeing in pets?
Well, the first thing that we were seeing was the sheen on their coats. They were really gleaming with health. The other was their activity levels increase. I remember our horse, the previous owner, actually came back and rode the horse and commented that it was supercharged. So energy levels increase. When we tested the toxic metal status before taking the HMD for pets using a hair sample, we found that a lot of these pets were actually quite toxic with aluminium, arsenic, and some lead. And these are common metals that are found in foods and cat litter. So when the animals took the HMD for pets for a couple of months, twice a day, and we retested the hair, we found that there was actually a percentage increase in these metals on the second test as opposed to the first test, which is an indication that metals are being mobilized and eliminated from the storage organs.
What sort of problems do veterinary doctors see in pets, and how is this related to toxicity?
Yeah, probably one of the most classic health problems that they see is immune-related diseases, because a lot of these toxins and heavy metals are actually suppressing the immune system, and of course that can lead to very severe chronic diseases, including cancers, which are very rampant and common in pets seen by vets today.
How do you become toxic from the environment?
They become toxic from the environment because they're in contact with various paints, varnishes and other chemicals in the house, including brominated flame retardants, which are chemicals that are used on carpets, cushions and other linens. These flame retardants are slow to break down. They usually get stored in the fatty tissue, and they're able to evaporate and be transported through the air, and of course the animals breathe these in as well. So these chemicals are likely to cause cancer and function as hormone disruptors, adversely affecting reproduction, endocrine organs like the thyroid, etc.
What about the pet food itself? Doesn't that contain toxins?
Yes, I mean there are research studies that have shown that aluminium, for example, is added as a preservative to many canned and dried foods. Of course, mercury is another problem in a lot of tinned and dried fish foods, because mercury is found in fish that is used for preparing these foods.
Is it true that dead animals are used in pet food?
Yes, this is true. When a pet is put down by the vet using pentobarbital, a drug that is frequently used to anesthetize pets, the animals are sent to rendering plants where they're recycled for pet food. However, the pentobarbital will stay in the pet food because it is it's a chemical that is very difficult to degrade. According to the University of Minnesota researchers, the sodium pentobarbital used to euthanize pets survives rendering without undergoing degradation. A growing number of vets state that processed pet food, the pellets, the kibbles and the canned food, is the main cause of illness and premature death in modern cats and dogs. In December 1995, the British Journal of Small Animal Practice published a paper contending that processed pet foods suppress the immune system, and this leads to liver, kidney, heart and other diseases.
What about toxins from fungi? Can this also get into pet food?
Fungi produce mycotoxins, which are potentially deadly, and they multiply in moldy grains, which are obviously present in pet foods. In 1995, Nature's Recipe recalled tons of their dog food after dogs became ill from eating it because the food contained vomitoxins, which is a very lethal toxin, mycotoxin from fungi.
Are there other toxin preservatives in pet food?
Yes, there are harmful chemical preservatives that are added to both wet and dry foods. For example, sodium nitrite is a colouring agent and a preservative, and also a potential carcinogen. That's a common additive. Other preservatives include ethoxyquin, which is actually an insecticide that has been linked to liver cancer. BHA, BHT, these are all chemicals that are also suspect of causing cancer. It's been worked out that the average dog will actually consume as much as 26 pounds in weight of these preservatives every year from eating commercial dog foods.
You mentioned rendering plants, recycling dead animals. Would you like to mention a little bit more about this?
Yes, so rendering plants process decomposing animal carcasses, large roadkill, and euthanize dogs and cats into dry protein products that are sold as pet foods to the industry. One small plant in Quebec, Ontario, renders 10 tons of dogs and cats per week. The Quebec Ministry of Agriculture states that the fur is not actually removed from the cats and the dogs, that also goes into the pet food, and that dead animals are cooked together with viscera, bones and fat at 115 degrees centigrade for 20 minutes to prepare them. It sounds delicious. Fat stabilizers are introduced into the finished rendering product to prevent rancidity. Many semi-moist dog foods contain propylene glycol, which is really the first cousin of antifreeze that they place in our cars. And ethylene glycol is known to destroy red blood cells. Lead is frequently seen in pet foods, even those made from livestock meat and bone meal. A Massachusetts Institute of Technology study titled Lead in Animal Foods found that a 9-pound cat fed on commercial pet food ingests more lead than the amount considered potentially toxic for children.